What's going on, everyone? I'm J.U. Kalkrick, former running back at Michigan State University. After college, I was blessed with the opportunity to play 5 years in the NFL for the New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers, and my hometown team, the Buffalo Bills. Now I'm a proud member of Team Xenith. With the Live Your Game spotlight, we turn the cameras on deserving coaches and players around the country to show us how they live their game. On this edition of the Xenith Live Your Game Spotlight, we turn focus on the Joliet Ravens Youth Football League out of Joliet, Illinois. Today we're joined by the coach, Frank Bermudez, as well as his players, Chris, Nick, and Lucas. How's it going, guys?
Good.
It's
Going
good.
good.
Perfect. Well, Coach, players, thank you guys for taking the time to join us today. I understand later on in the day you're starting your first day of off-season workouts for the spring season. Thanks for squeezing us in.
You're welcome. Not a problem. We appreciate you guys having us on and getting to know a little bit more about our program.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we want to do. Through Xenith, create the spotlight and opportunity for you guys to showcase yourselves. So why don't we just jump into it, Coach? Tell us about the Joliet Ravens.
So the Joliet Ravens, I actually started the program 11 years ago now. This will be our 11th season coming up in 2021. 2020, we finished our fabulous COVID season. Our 10th season we got in. I was definitely committed to getting a season in, even though Illinois was shut down. So we had a great season. So we traveled out of state every weekend for games. Kids had fun. A lot of family building time with the kids and the players and the parents in hotels. And our parents were committed like they've always been. They've always been supportive of what I wanted to do and what their kids want to do. So it's been a good season.
That's great. This season has been, tough for everybody, but it was great that you guys were able to, get a season in. You mentioned the parents and the commitment due to the fact of COVID and you had to travel and hotels and everything like that. What does this program mean to the community?
So it means a lot to the community. I mean, Joliet has been known as a football community. Joliet Catholic High School, they are the leader in Illinois state high school championships in the state of Illinois, along with Providence Catholic, which was right next door. They're the second most state championships in high school in Illinois, and we feed to both of those, including the public schools. And so it's always been a football community. But 10 years ago, when I decided to start this program, the community at the youth level was struggling. They just weren't competitive. And so it's been my desire, being a Division I athlete myself, to want a competitive youth football program in the community. And we've done that with the help of many people and very committed players and parents.
Coach just mentioned about the community, coming and embracing this program. How does it make you guys feel as players, on this team, that the community embraces you guys and give you the support?
I feel good because I know that people support me in what I'm doing and playing football, and I have a lot of fun playing, and I'm glad that everyone supports me.
Perfect. Anyone else want to jump in there?
I feel really good about the community because they don't really care if we fail or succeed. As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
You mentioned earlier in the conversation about the impact that COVID had and how you had to change on the fly with your season by traveling and everything. How did that restrict you, and what hurdles and obstacles did you have to overcome in order to get a fall season in?
Yeah, so there was a lot of obstacles that myself and our board, I have a very good supportive board that we had to do along with our families in our program. So number one, we started a little late, concerned whether we were going to actually have a practice facility or not. With that, there were some restrictions on whether the park district would allow us to practice or not. The park district did allow and thought it was a benefit for the kids to be doing something, especially with schools closed and not a lot of activities. So they supported us and let us practice. We had to, every day, every kid came through a drive-up line. They got temperature checked. They got hand sanitized. They got marked off, sent to practice. Parents weren't allowed out the car. So we were very restrictive compared to what we normally do. Normally parents are out there in lawn chairs watching, supporting, and this year they spent their time in cars, and maybe someone went grocery shopping or something. But yeah, so it was definitely a different look. The hotel traveling, definitely another different look. Every week we were renting fields across the border in Indiana, Wisconsin, just getting games in. And so it was a bigger expense to the organization. It cost us a lot of money to play state games out of state, not just us as an organization, but also the parents to pay for hotels just about every other weekend, if not every weekend. So
how was the experience? You're kind of treated like a collegiate or NFL team. You know, you're traveling, you're staying in hotels for games. How was that? How was that experience like?
Yeah, I really liked it. That was like probably the only reason why I really wanted COVID to be happening, because we got to play like twice as many games as we usually get to play during the regular season, and we were moving all around the state.
What was your favorite hotel that you stayed at, and why?
Farm one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a farm, big old farm, and there's huge basketball hoops and stuff.
Appalachia, because everyone like just partied, and like during the day every team got together and we just had a great time.
You know, this was a big impact and heavy lift on your part as a coach. It's not the funnest part about coaching. It's definitely not X's and O's. So tell me, what does coaching mean to you, and what made you get into coaching?
So, I mean, I love coaching. I mean, the kids that know me, I'm kind of a very hardcore type coach. I mean, I expect respect. I'm a very disciplined and structured coach. I typically have a practice plan, game plan, and I can be hard on my players, but they know at the end of the day, or at least try to express to them that they mean to me what my coach meant to me. I love them. I want to see them succeed. If I'm pushing them, I always tell them, if I'm not saying nothing to you, it's probably because maybe I've lost interest, so me yelling at you sometimes is a good thing. But I had coaches when I was young, including my dad, that made me who I am today. And so I still feel like giving back to the community, that helped raise me become who I am is important. I feel I'm successful because of sports. I wasn't always a straight A student, but I was focused academically to make sure I can go to the next level. And so that's what I want for these kids. I mean, not everybody's going to be a doctor, but I do expect everybody that comes out of my program to understand what hard work looks like.
So you're talking about the lessons that you learned through football. What are some of the lessons that you hope these players take away from the program when they go out and they go to high schools, and some that play on in college and all that? What lessons do you hope that they take away from the Joliet Ravens program?
One of our big models is we always say hard work and dedication. So I want them to understand that if you want something in life, you got to go get it. I'm in sales as well in life, and I always tell them, closed mouths don't get fed. You got to go chase what you want. If you have a dream to be a doctor, if you have a dream to be a great husband, you have a dream to be a great dad, you got to work at it. It just doesn't come across easy to everybody. And so I want them to understand that hard work, and then that commitment to that hard work. You just can't do it for a day or a week and say, oh, I worked hard at it, it didn't work out. Sometimes it takes years. I've watched players that, in youth football, sometimes they call them MPR, minimum play. They don't play a lot. They're just developmental players. And I've watched those kids become collegiate athletes that stuck with it, that understand that there's a process sometimes. And for every kid, it looks different. Sometimes it's they're good from day one. Sometimes they're not good until year 5. And so every kid's different. And I try to explain to them that you just have to keep working at that process, or whatever that is for you.
On that line, what are some of the lessons that you hope that you take away from the program when you leave?
I learned, like, if you want something, you got to keep working, never stop, and don't give up. And you just have to keep pushing through all the hard times, and you have to just work your hardest.
I learned from this, like, no matter how much people try to turn you down, keep on going. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go for them and be respectful to everybody and be respectful of yourself.
Perfect. So how do you guys as players in practice break up the monotony of practice and to just make it fun?
Something that I do in practice, I make it competitive. I go out there and I try to do better than I did last practice, so I can come out better than before.
Coach, how do you break down practice to make it fun for them? Because at the end of the day, we have to realize that these are just youth athletes. It's not high school. It's not college. Their attention span can only be so long. So how do you break it down that they can enjoy the fact of coming to practice?
Yeah, I mean, it's always the struggle when you're coaching, making the difference of being structured and having some fun and letting loose. And I think all my coaches in my program, I'm the head coach of our 10U team, but I'm also the president of the organization. We all try to do a good job of just breaking it up once in a while. Hey, whether it's playing sharks and minnows or playing a 7-on-7 game or just scrimmaging, letting the kids have fun. And we also as an organization do things like our homecoming event. We'll have coaches versus players or dads versus coaches, and the kids get to coach us. We do all kinds of things to make sure that we are breaking up football from fun for the kids. We have events where we go to the go-kart place. And I tell my coaches, number one, you can't yell at a kid you don't know. You can't be hard on a kid you don't know. When he knows that you care about him, then he'll run through a brick wall for you. He'll do what you ask him to do. And so that's lesson number one. I try to teach the head coaches in our program. When you know the kid and the kid respects you, then he'll do anything for you. And so that's important to us to make sure the kids are having fun. And I'm sure they say sometime, well, Coach Frank be getting on us, but there's a time and a place for everything. And so, I tell them we also have a lot of fun at the games. Our program is very successful. I'll tell you, in 2020 COVID year, we had 2 national championship teams, our 11U and 13U. Our 10U took 5th in the country, only losing to the champions 7-0 first round, and came back and won the rest of their games. And so our 6U went undefeated all year. Same with 7U and 8U. I think our 12U that Lucas and Christopher on, you guys were 16-2, I think, or something, 15-2 on the season. So all of our program is very successful. I think our record-wise, nobody lost more than 3 games this year, and everybody played upwards of 14, 15 games. I think one of them mentioned we played more games this season during COVID than we did ever before, because when we went out of state, I was trying to double dip. So we'd play a game Saturday and Sunday. If we were in Indianapolis, why not? We're already there. Let's find somebody to play. So
exactly
that's how it went.
What is your favorite college team, your favorite NFL team, and your favorite player?
My favorite college team is probably LSU, and my NFL team, Chicago Bears. And then my favorite player is probably Tom Brady.
Okay, the GOAT.
The GOAT.
My favorite college team is probably like Notre Dame. It's pretty cool to me. And then my favorite team is Chicago Bears, and my favorite player is probably like Cleo Mack. My favorite college is probably LSU too. My favorite team, I gotta go with the Bears, and my favorite player, probably Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. All right. What about you, Coach? We can't leave you out.
Yeah, I'm a homer guy, so I always go with I love Northwestern. I love their head coach's mentality and attitude. He's just a tough guy that grinds. I love the fact that they have those academic standards there at Northwestern. So it's a hometown Chicago team with great academics and a great football program. They seem to battle every year in the Big Ten. And then Chicago Bears fan too. I grew up here my whole life. I have some rough days. I want to change, but I am a loyal man, so I'm still a Chicago Bears fan. We've got a little bit of memories from '85 and 2006 that we can think back on of some good seasons, but it's been a struggle as of lately. So I'm still a Bears fan, and I do love Brady too. So a lot of guys don't, a lot of people don't like him, but I like Brady. I know his work ethic, and it's what I want my players to understand. It's you got to have that work ethic if you're going to succeed at the next level, and that guy does it.
Yeah, you can't argue with Brady's work ethic. He's already back out there. He won his championship, and he's already back out there right now. So jumping back to the players, pregame. Okay, it's go time. It's ready to go. But you have that, a couple minutes in the locker room. What's on your playlist?
Oh, my playlist. Like artists or just songs?
Whatever.
Oh, well, I like. It really depends on like what's playing, but I would rather use a hype song, like "Dreams and Nightmares" by Meek Mill.
I just zone out of everything and have a little background music, and I like a lot of Polo G and stuff like that. I just zone out of everything else.
You're a no music guy. I was a no music guy too. When I played, I didn't listen to anything. How about you, Coach? When you get that minute before the game and you have your headphone on, what are you listening to?
You know what, Coach? I'm a no music guy too. I am more of a visual guy, so I like to just walk away. And people that ever watch me coach before the game, I usually, if I'm the head coach, I'm out at the coin toss, I'm coming back, and I walk away from the group. I let them do their chant or whatever, and I'm picturing my first 3-4 play calls. Like, what am I calling right now? Like, and if we run the ball back to the 20, if it's a touchback, if we get it back to the 40, my play, where am I at? And just preparing myself mentally to be ready to call a play. With youth football, 35 seconds ain't a lot to get a play into the huddle, call to the line of scrimmage.
Exactly.
It's good time. NFL can do 25, but getting an 8-year-old to do it in 35 seconds can be a struggle at times. So you got to be ready. So,
Coach, this season wasn't exactly the easiest season for you guys. You had travel plans, you had X's and O's, you had, kids, at home doing home learning and everything like that. But we at Xenith hope we made it easy for you from the equipment side of things, that you felt comfortable, you felt safe. We thank you for that, and just appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate everything Xenith does for us. We are a Xenith Elite program in the state of Illinois. I believe we're the only Xenith Elite youth program in the state of Illinois, and we love the equipment. Our kids enjoy it. It keeps them safe, and we'll continue supporting just like you guys have done for us. So we appreciate it.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.